Yeah, it's a good season. It's a good season for us in our business. And today we are on Foundation Class 6. Today we're going to talk about storytelling. So the next couple of classes, 6 and 8 in particular, we're going to focus and give you an opportunity to work on the actual skills that we're talking about because this is the nitty gritty now. So hopefully you've been tracking with us. You've been tracking with the machine. And this is the machine where we start with our 100 name list. Our 100 name list or our marketing list. You don't have a business unless you have people to market. That is our capital in the business. It is having a marketing list. And you should have done a very thorough marketing list with every single person that you know. Have you done that yet? Show of hands. Have you been coachable? Have you completed, redone, and looked at every single name that is in your phone book, your email address, your social medias, and you've gone through the memory joggers? Have you done that? Put up your internet hand. I want to see it. Okay. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. So there's a few you that have not. Our last class prior to was coachability. You remember that? Coachability. You remember that? And so we need your coachability. Okay, good. You can put your hands down. Your prospect list should look like this. Well, not this, but this is our tracker. And the list is here. You should have filled these names in already, going all the way to 100. You should have filled all of your top 10, your 15 to 20 business launch people. You should have filled the whole thing out. So if you've not done that, go back and do it now. Because as you see, we're moving. We've got things that we're doing in the machine to get you where you need to go. The reason why people don't win is because they don't do the things that they need to do to win. That's the reason why you don't win. And so if you've not done that, you've not actually given everything that we've talked about, you've not done everything that we did, then how can you expect to win? So we need 100% coachability, you to take the time to go through every name on the memory jogger list and put that together. Okay. So that was the first step. The second step in our machine, what is it? Second step in the machine is what? It is approach and contact, correct. And we reviewed and we talked about that credibility is the currency of our business, and that in order to move the prospect or the person you're marketing to and be successful at a high rate, then you need credibility. And if you don't have that, if you've not built trust with that person, then you have to go back and build trust in this area. So we started with the fact that we're going to get our top 10, the people that we have great trust with, the people that support us and love us, the people that are our day ones, and we're going to invite them to a meeting, a catalytic meeting where they're coming together. We're going to try to get all of them at the same time. For us, we're doing an event June 24th at the time of this recording in the head office starting at 7 p.m. And we've been tasked to invite your entire top 10. Who has done that? Who has invited their top 10? Put up your internet hand. Your top 10 should be your mom, your dad, your siblings, the people that are the close to your best friends, people are going to be in your wedding party, so forth and so on, right? You hold on, let me stop sharing. I got to see these hands, see who's being coachable. Okay, not all of them. Okay, we need all 10. All 10 need to be invited. All 10. All 10 need to be invited. Let's see these hands. Okay, I'm looking at it. All right. That's not enough hands, everybody. That's not enough people who are doing what they're supposed to do. So maybe I need to train on coachability again. I'm gonna put in the chat our link again. Currently, it would seem that there are three people who have people coming to this event: myself, Debbie, and Charles on a high level. So everybody else needs to get their butt into order. Get your people, register your people, and get them there. This is the coachability. This is your chance to move your business forward. This is a chance because I'm going to talk a lot about your referrals. We're not going to try to do anything other than really make them feel good. And you're going to get some referrals from this event. But if you don't have people at this event, you're not going to get that done. You're trying to move your business forward. So everybody, we need your coachability. This is what we need to do. Everybody copy? Okay. In the chat, put 100 if you're going to give me 100% coachability and get this done today. 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 There you go. Put 100 in the chat. You're going to get it done. All 10. All 10. Okay. Which leads us to where we are at right now. When we feel that we have built enough credibility with the people outside of our top 10, that's our hottest market, then we can move to the next phase, which is sharing our story. That's what I'm going to train on today. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to practice and get it down pat today as well. Okay. So that is the focus of our training today. We're at module 3, third part of the system. Let's get it. Okay. There are 3 types of stories that we are going to be implementing into our business. The first is what we're going to call an elevator quick pitch. This is going to be your 2-minute story. This is what we've been training on. If you've been in the beginning of our times, we've been talking a little bit about your 2-minute story. This is your elevator pitch. This is something that you can talk to everybody about prior to inviting, giving them a little bit of a lowdown on what you've been doing. This is going to be your 2-minute story. Okay, everybody copy? Then there is a casual interactive conversation, and this is going to be your 5-minute story. This story we are going to use with our BPM speakers. So if you are a BPM speaker for our office, your job is going to be to craft a 5-minute story with a little bit of pictures. And we're going to start selling the dream before BPM. We start to say in BPM. Usually, typically, we just share it in BPM, the 5-minute story. But now we're going to do it a little bit with pictures because we want to really sell people the dream on what we're doing. Just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to be working with all of the BPM speakers to make sure that we have that 5-minute story about what got us here and why we are going there. And then the last part is when you're going to be training. You're going to be training and you're going to be invited as a speaker somewhere. You're going to share your story. You're going to need a huge presentation, a 20-minute presentation that I have completed. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of sharing, a little bit of tips as you're going to see my story there. But these are three different stories that you can use in different aspects that you're going to have to learn how to do and run the business. 2-minute story, that's normal, quick, pick elevator pitch, tell people about what you do. 5-minute story, more of a introduction to your BPM, your business presentation meeting. And then your 20-minute story, let's say you're training for somebody else or training in particular, you have your 20-minute story. Okay. All right. Now, how do you share your story? There are 4 different things that you need to have in your story. And we've been training about this, teaching you a little bit about this, but these are the 4 things. Number 1, you have to share what did you used to do, or what you're currently doing right now, if you're still part-time. So what did you do, or what did you used to do? Number 2 is, how did you get introduced to the WFG platform? Number 3, how has the WFG platform impacted your life currently? And number 4, what do you see this business doing for your future and to help others? Now, this is important here. Everybody look at me. This is important. See, number 4 is, I think, where people don't end off strong. You have to share your vision here on, what do you see this, how is this business going to impact your life? It's your future vision. This is where you get to actually forecast into the future. What do you see? And this is beautiful because you get to literally create your own life, like somebody writing a script in a story, in a movie. You get to rewrite the script of your life and share it with the people. And this should cause people to go, whoa, wow, right? It should be big. It should be something that you're driving towards that causes them to go, oh man, wow, right? And then the last part is, how are you going to help others as well? So not just yourself, because we don't want to seem selfish in any way, but how are we going to now go impact the world, right? So like one of the big things for me is, I want to eradicate poverty. That's in our vision, right? That's in our vision. And that's a huge vision. And obviously, when people should hear that, they'd be like, what are you talking about? You get rid of poverty. Yeah. We want to work hard enough where we make enough money that we can actually donate, create our own economy, and really help people. Really help people. And so, but we need a lot of money. We need billions. See, when we start talking like that, people should be like, wow, we need billions to be able to do that. So these are the 4 things. What is it? What did you do? Or what are you currently doing? How did you get introduced to the platform? Number 3, how has the platform impacted your life? Number 4, what do you see this business doing for you? Okay. And how are you going to use the platform to help others? Okay. All right. So we're going to practice a little bit here. I'm actually going to practice here, and then we're going to go out into breakout rooms as well and practice at the end of training as well. So I'm going to bring up Mr. Charles Fisher. Mr. Fisher, unmute your mic for a second. All right, let's say I'm one of your friends now that you have credibility and trust, and you've been building trust and credibility based upon our trainings prior to. And now you feel like it's a good opportunity. You can share your story and invite me. Okay, I want you now to share your story. So let's say we're talking, right? You called me or whatever. Hello, Charles. Da da da. We small talked. All right, Charles. Now the day has come. You got to share your story. Okay, here we go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. So how you doing, Ty?
good. I'm doing well.
Good, good, man. You and I have been talking for a while, but there was something that I wanted to share with you, you know, um, a little bit about my journey and what I see my vision and the future. So I just wanted to share this with you.
Okay.
Hey, it's been a while. I've been working telecom for a very long time, over 20 years.
Wow.
Um, I love that industry. I love what I do. I enjoy it. It pays well. Um, But one of the things with it is more recently, a lot of times because of how the industry, the revolution of the IT telecom industry, a lot of it goes into contract, a lot of project related work. And then after a while working in that industry, I realized like my full-time job, they disappear. So a lot of companies know I work contract and I travel a lot doing it. And I really love traveling. So the only thing with that is a lot of times, you're away for so long, you're away from your family, so you kind of miss that home opportunity. But over time, I've been doing it. I love it, as I said, and I pay as well. So there was a point when I am working, and when you get called by the boss, you often feel like you get called by the boss, and you answer that phone and the boss, you're listening because you wonder why he called. And he said to you, hey, I have to lay you off. And your heart kind of stopped for that moment. Because prior to that moment, I had gone out because of the same boss and rent an apartment. And I was just into the new contract that I just signed. I signed the contract on the Thursday, pay over $1,000 down. And by the Tuesday, he called me the following Tuesday. I've only slept into that apartment 1 or 2 nights. And I got laid off. Fast forward with that, I met a colleague, a friend, and he introduced me to this company, World Financial Group. And I went to one of the meetings and I was curious, wasn't too into it. I was just there to listen to see what was going on. But the more I listened, I'm kind of okay. But then he advised that I attended another meeting and I start attending the meeting and I kind of get to like the people. And so I continue to listen and keep coming. And then I realized that the opportunity that I have doing something for myself and for my family exists in this vessel. And so I did my exams and I passed my exams and I'm licensed. It's an Ontario exam. And now I make sure all my family are all covered, their coverage, and I'm helping families do the same thing what I did for myself and help them to get the same coverage and protection for their families. And so this is where I want to plant my flag, and I hope that you can see the reason why I transition into this space. And I just know I can fulfill my future here with the growth of myself and my business. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay. Thank you, Charles. Let's get Charles a round of applause. Thank you for stepping up. Okay. So, Charles, I'm gonna critique your story. I'm gonna give you some pointers and some things of that nature. It's good live training, and people who are gonna be watching this after, they're gonna, they're gonna benefit from this. Okay, so a couple things. Number one, that story was too long. It was over 2 minutes. So you got to cut down the beginning part. When you start talking about what you do, you got to cut that down. Okay. But what I did like is that you created tension about what you liked about the job and then what you didn't like to the job. You just got to get to that point faster. So it doesn't drag past 2 minutes. Okay. So that's the first part. Okay. The second part, how you got introduced, that was fine. You said, a friend invited you. You weren't necessarily, thrilled, but you kept on coming and, decided to stay and get the information. Okay. Number three has got to be highlighted better in your story. How has this impacted your life? Now, impact is an emotional response, everybody. Impact is an emotional response. You're thinking like a telecom guy, which is factual in the head, right? I want you to be emotional about how this impacted your life. You get what I'm saying? Impact is like, it's like this made a huge deal. It's got to be something that like you demonstrate to the people that, man, this really changed my life. You get what I'm saying? So I heard what you said, that I got protected and then, but that's not going to impact the person that's going to listen to the story. Do you get what I'm saying? You got to bring more impact for them to see that there. And then the last part, you talked about you're planning your fag, which good. This is my future. What does that future look like? You got to be more specific than just say future. Make sense? You're selling the person on your dream. This is where you got to be specific. Okay? Sell
Mhm.
them what? The what? The sizzle. Okay? Ebony, I see your hand.
I have a question. So I have a question and a comment. There's a book called Stories That Stick, right? And I think tied to your point, I think Charles, your story could be two stories, and then maybe that's the longer one. So
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask Ty, if I were to I feel like Charles, your story had a lot of points that you can connect. So the gaps that Ty's highlighting, for example, when you were saying like you're planting your flag, if I was Charles and Charles was me, I would say, I would tell that story and just say that I really enjoyed my job. I was a contractor. I loved the travel. I enjoyed what I did. I signed a new contract. I got myself an apartment. I was really excited about the start. And then 3 days after I signed that lease, 2 nights after sleeping in that apartment, I get a call from my boss saying that I'm laid off. Imagine that you're in your job and you may know somebody who loves their job, and then just like that is taken away from you. Because of that experience, I connected, down the line with a colleague. They invited me to this thing and I was not sure about it, but I liked the people and something felt right. In being here, what I realized is that other families could potentially be going through what I was going through, excited about something, working towards their future, and then there's an immediate change, the explosion. But being in this business has helped me create a new life for my family. It's had me like take control of my life, of my time, of my income. And it's also given me the ability to help protect others. So when they get a call, their whole life doesn't change catastrophically. And that could be the story. So Ty, if you were to critique something like that, it could be stronger, but like that.
No, that's perfect. But Charles, do you see how concise that is?
Ebony, you're good. So, that was awesome, Ebony. It's
Thank
like
you. Your story was amazing. So it helps.
Yeah.
rewrite it.
Yeah.
You're,
So that the 2 minute story has to be sharp like that. So thank you, Ebony, for sharing that, right? I'm
And
gonna
thank you,
get
Ty, for recording it.
yeah. So it's gotta be sharp. It's gotta be, and I'm gonna add some few things after what you want to add to it. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But does that make sense, everybody? Right? This is for your 2 minute story. Okay. Now, what I want to do now is we're gonna talk a little bit about the power of storytelling. We're actually gonna watch a video from an individual that has been successful in the kind of network marketing field, but I like his breakdown and his training here. And so I want you to take notes from what you hear, and we're gonna just talk about it on the other side, okay? So everyone get your notes out.
One of the most powerful and effective skills when building your network marketing business is learning to tell stories. Even though it's something so simple, people tend to have a hard time with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you create your story. I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you do that, which is going to help you grow your business faster than ever on this video coming up. Hey everyone, this is Darren Kidd, multiple 7-figure earner, top leader in the network marketing profession, but it wasn't always like that. Matter of fact, my first few years were pretty terrible and I struggled, I was frustrated. I said, I'll never do it again. Then I had the right mentors that came into my life that really turned everything around, helped me change my life. And now my passion is now bringing you weekly content to help shave years off your learning curve. And today we're going to talk about one of the highest paid skills, one of the simplest skills in network marketing, and that is learning to tell stories, especially your story. So I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to do that. So in network marketing, one reason that we learn to tell stories is because it allows people to be able to relate to us. So the first tip is you want to make sure you share your background. What do I mean by background? What do you do? Not every background. I've had people that give me 10 or 15, but I know, what was your previous background when you got started in network marketing? Are you a nurse, construction worker, stay-at-home mom? So number 1, very simple, you share your background. Hey, my name is Darren Kidd. My background is this. In network marketing, stories sell, facts tell. So you remember as a child, you went to bed, right? And your parents told you bedtime stories. They didn't tell you bedtime facts. So many times we want to learn the facts and just spew those to the prospects, and it's really not effective. You want to share with them your background. So for example, before network marketing, I was in the furniture industry. Had nothing to do with network marketing. And I go, hey, well, before network marketing, I was in the furniture industry. Okay, tip number 2. Actually, I was recently at an event with one of my mentors, Eric Worre, at the GoPro event, and he really drove this point home, and it made total sense to me. So number 2 is every great story has conflict, or it has a little bit of pain, because it allows them to relate to you, relate to me. So what you're doing is you're sharing what you did not like about your background. So for me, being in the furniture industry, and we had quotas. So what would happen was I remember every Sunday afternoon, I would start to get that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, knowing I had to start all over. And if I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid. And when I left, I had nothing to show for it. So I was looking for a way to create some residual income. I was looking for a way to have more time with my wife and my kids. So you may say, hey, look, I was a construction worker and my body was breaking down and I was so exhausted every single day. And I went to work when it was dark. I got home when it was dark. And I was looking for a way to get my life back. Maybe it was, hey, I love being a teacher. I'm passionate about teaching, but there was a cap on my income. And there was a lot of things that I wanted to do to give back, and that wasn't going to allow me to do that. So you're sharing what you did not like about your background and a little bit of pain, and that's a very important part of your story. Number 3, after you shared what you didn't like about your background or your pain, you're sharing the solution. So that's why I joined the company that I'm with, because I saw a solution to be able to work on a part-time basis and eventually build a full-time income to help get my life back, to have more time freedom, to be able to travel and do what I love to do. So you're telling them the solution to the pain, the solution to the problem. And again, as you're sharing your story, they're relating to you more and more, and they're starting to understand what you're sharing with them. Number 4 tip. Share with them how you feel about your future. It's pretty simple. Go, hey, look, now I'm really excited. I don't mind going to work every day because I know it's temporary. I know I have another plan. I'm working on my job full time, but I'm working on my fortune part-time. Jim Rohn taught us that many years ago, right? And so just share with them why you're excited about your future. Very simple, but very effective. Okay, number 5, last but not least, because this may sound so simple that you go, hey, look, I really don't need to practice that. Eric Worre gave us the challenge. Look, the next 30 days, go out and share your story a minimum of 100 times, a minimum. And so if you're sitting with someone right now watching the video, practice back and forth. I mean, it's very simple. Go, hey, look, my name, well, you don't have to say your name because you know them, but you're sitting in front of them and go, hey, look, my background was I was in the furniture industry. I didn't like the fact that every single week I had to start all over and I had no freedom and no residual income. And I was not excited about my future. But let me tell you the solution. That's why I got into this company. And, and I'm excited about my future because I can work on my job during the day. I can work on my fortune part-time. And eventually I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad. And so again, just practice that story over and over and over again. And what you'll do is you'll get it where you can say it in 60 seconds to 2 minutes. I mean, share it with the server at the restaurant, share it with the dry cleaner, share it with your friends, share it in line at Starbucks, and you're going to get to the point to where you have it down at your little elevator, pitch, and not only do you share it with prospects, but you're also sharing it with your team every interaction. So if you're speaking on a conference call, if you're speaking in front of a group in a living room, maybe doing a little training for your organization. So the more you share your story, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to refine it, and you're going to get better over time. But stories make a big difference because a lot of times as well, think about this. Even if I'm talking to you, and let's say that you're a single mom, and I'm not a single mom, and so I'm sharing a story about a single mom on our team that got started. Because we do have a single mom on our team. I'm like, hey, she's a single mom. She had 3 daughters. She actually had a cleaning company, never done anything like this. She got involved. She plugged into the system. She started working part-time. After a year of working part-time and plugging into the system, she was able to replace her income. She was able to sell her cleaning company. Now she's a stay-at-home mom. She didn't have the hassle of 20 employees. And if you look at her Facebook, you can see she's traveling the world. She's with her kids during the day. She's taking them to school. She's picking them up. She's in Disney World. She's created a dream lifestyle for her family. So you can see how it makes a difference. So learn to be a master storyteller because we are highly paid storytellers, and it's one of the best skills you can possibly learn.
Okay. What'd you learn about that? What'd you learn from him, just his sharing right there? Jay, go ahead.
Basically how to sell your pitch, like, how like selling facts or selling stories is better than selling facts. And how every great stories have conflict, right? And the solution that you have for it, kind of thing.
Correct. Shauna.
Being consistent. So once you have that one story, just go out and tell it as much as you can, repetitive. So it doesn't change. It just, you're only going to get better when you're consistent about it.
You're only telling it to new people.
Right.
Who have not heard the story over and over and over again, right?
Exactly.
Right. Okay, so here's some points about just sharing your story. Number one, and he talked about this, and you heard Ebony talk a little bit about when she shared there. What are your past voids or unmet current desires? Where's the pain point? In Charles's story, what was Charles's pain point, everybody? In his career, what was his pain point?
Was it when he got let go?
Yeah, he got laid off. He had all these desires and things he thought was going to happen, and all of a sudden he got laid off. That's a pain point. Okay, so you share your background or your career, but you gotta implement the tension in the story. because all stories need a little bit of drama, a little bit of conflict, a little bit of pain. That's what all stories, you go to a movie, movies all have that, right? There's got to be some type of conflict or tension within the main actors or actresses, and that what makes you want to tune in. So you got to have that as a part of your story. Number two is what caused you to make a change, right? So you want to add like, oh man, this event or a mentor or the business did this for me. This is how I was impacted. I had a shift in my mindset. I had a shift in thinking. See, this is what causes the tension. It's like before and after pictures, right? Those commercials of people who are on weight loss, right? They show you before and after. It's kind of the same thing, right? Next, how has your current situation changed? Right? Are you more hopeful, clearer winning path, better horsepower for your future? What's going on in you? This is the impact that this change has made in you. And then lastly, how do you plan to help others based upon your own experience? So this is where you're going to share your vision and your hope. Yeah, this is really critical because as you start to do this, you're going to see that you're going to draw people in. And like Darren said, is that you're going to be relatable because people are going to hear your story and say, yeah, I can relate to that. I can understand that, right? That brings their walls down and allows you to now begin to invite them to your next session or event. Okay. Any questions with what I just shared here with these story points? Any question? Okay, now here's the benefits of sharing your story. Number one, there's no objections. No one can argue with your story or what you believe and what happened to you. No one can object to it. They can object to a fact that you're trying to say in financial services, but they cannot object to your story. It's going to cause you to talk to more people. It should help you calm down a little bit because once you get your story, you're just telling the same things over and over again. Number three, people like talking about themselves. So, you're going to like talking about yourself. It should calm you down. And that should give you some confidence in speaking to people. Next, people can argue products. They can't argue about your story. This is connected to the objection. But they cannot, if you'd say, man, this life insurance product was the best, it's allowed me to save money, grow it without being tax-free, some things I didn't know, no one can argue that because you're talking about your own personal story of what happened to you. Number 5 is no PowerPoint slide needed. And that's especially, we're talking about the 2-minute story. No PowerPoint needed. You can just share and you have to worry about trying to, get to a place where I need PowerPoint. You can do this anywhere, as you said, in line with people. You can do this, at the movie theater, just meeting anybody, you can do this. And lastly, you don't have to think about your story. So once you have nailed this down, it's going to be like automatic. You don't have to think now. You're just going to share. This is my story. This is my story. This is my story. Now, the only way you can do that is be doing it repetitively. I repeat, the only way that this becomes you is you got to do this repetitively. So, you remember, it said facts tell, stories sell. This is why we got to get you really good with your stories because we don't want to just tell a bunch of facts. We want to sell stories. They sell and sell the business like none other, creating a place of duplication because now everybody on your team, if they can share stories, if they can sell stories, it puts them in a better light. It basically puts them in a better opportunity to now impact that potential client, but also open them up for further discussion. Okay, so I'm going to give you homework. We're going to start it today. We're going to break you up into groups. We're going to practice this. I want you to write out your story by answering those 4 questions. And now we're going to really start to practice. And what I want you to do is I want you to record yourself reading the answers to the 4 questions. I want you basically practicing your story, but record yourself on your phone. Do a voice note or whatever. Then I want you to send it to your trainer or your